Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from Naruto Explained, and a lot of you have been asking me to check this out for a while, so caving in, and I'm going to check it out. This is What If Madara Uchiha Never Became Evil. We checked out the What If Madara was a Hokage, and he just took water everywhere, but this is like, what if he was a nice guy, you know? What if he was chill? What if he was like, just, I'm cool. Let's see what would have happened. I think, I don't know actually. I've never even thought about it until just now, and my brain's just gone poof. So let's find out what Naruto Explained has to say, shall we? Yay!
When Madara Uchiha returned to Konoha to fight Hashirama, it forever changed the Naruto world.
Yes.
However, how differently could things be if Madara never left Konoha? How different would the Naruto story be? Would things end up for better, or would things turn out for worse? Well, in today's edition of Naruto What If,
I feel like if Hashirama and Madara were pals throughout the whole time, it would have been awesome.
Establish a trigger point for the scenario to occur.
Okay.
In my opinion, the best time that this can occur is the moment when Tobirama tells Hashirama that the villagers and the feudal lord wanted Hashirama to become Hokage. After seeing that his wish for Madara to be Hokage had failed, this is where the change would occur. Before Madara is able to leave, Hashirama would insist that he would only become the Hokage on the condition that Madara be appointed as his advisor and already agreed upon to be the next in line to be Hokage.
Right, I like that. Yes.
Would be enough to make Madara pause for a faint moment, which would allow Hashirama to turn and see Madara outside the window. Hashirama will be able to speak with Madara one-on-one before Madara left.
Nice chill moment.
Would tell Madara that while the villagers in Tobirama didn't yet see in Madara the man that Hashirama knew him to be, Hashirama would tell Madara to stay in the village.
Please, let the people see what I see in you. Yes.
Help Hashirama build the village that both of them dreamed of, and Hashirama would commit to making Madara the second Hokage. Given that the feudal lord specifically
Tobirama wouldn't like that, but alright.
I could see Hashirama using this as leverage to get it cemented that Madara would be a lock-in for the second Hokage.
Yeah, nice.
That Madara was also one of the founders of the village,
because he was,
the only one who could rival Hashirama in power. This would make Madara
quite
less likely to
literally
read the stone tablet that was created by Black Zetsu. The next 6 years would see the ninja village be built, with Madara serving as the aide to Hashirama.
Cool.
Slowly over time, Madara would begin to change. Due to him being one of Angel's reincarnates, the two of them would bump heads occasionally.
They'd have to.
Without the manipulation of Zetsu, things would come to a major change.
Right, that is interesting.
And Hashirama would join a very short list of the reincarnates.
Because the reincarnates are destined to fight, but alright.
It was stated by Zetsu that they were almost always in conflict with one another, which means that in the past there have been reincarnates that were able to work together for a brief period in time. But
before something gets in the way, and then
in this new timeline, Madara would have mostly bought into Hashirama's ideals.
Because I mean, if Sasuke and Naruto were able to be the incarnates and get over, then it's not beyond, like, you know, that they could have potentially sorted it out.
The village been founded, the first great ninja war break out. As stated in Naruto Data Book 3, Hashirama would attempt to end the world war by offering the Biju to the other nations.
He's like, everyone have one.
Inevitably one of the only times that Madara and Tobirama would agree upon something. They would agree that the Biju, if they were to be handed away, then Konoha must at least have a way to profit off of this.
Of course, get that moolah.
In this era, Madara would question Hashirama's way of ruling as Hokage, which would keep
Madara and Tobirama agreeing on something is like, what?
Despite all the other nations having Biju, the fact that Konoha has Madara Uchiha,
hell yes,
and Tobirama sent you,
and the Nine Tails, and the Nine Tails.
To swing the tide in battle. When you really think about it, Madara is probably enough to end the war a lot sooner
just by himself. Yeah,
this changes everything.
It does if he's there already. Whoa.
Fought on Konoha's side. By the time that Hashirama dies, Konoha wouldn't have been at war. Madara would have been viewed as one of the heroes of the war, effectively putting most of the distrust behind him. Also, with his dying breath, Hashirama would tell Madara what he did when he first asked him to be Hokage, which is to protect the village and to consider them all to be his family. He'd say that everything up until now was to prepare him from the position of Hokage, and
I was making you ready for this moment.
That he was the man that Hashirama knew him to be. Upon Hashirama's death, things would shift drastically. Madara, while influenced by Hashirama over the years, wouldn't be as militaristic as he was in his original timeline. Madara would still be very aggressive in dealing with the other great nations. The next 20 years,
but in a non-world ruling way.
Over Konoha. Madara Madara's face would be etched into the Hokage
Ooh,
monument
cool.
alongside Hashirama Senju. Tobirama would have continued to train
And he'd be the
Hiruzen until
third.
Hiruzen was able to lead his own team, and this also means that it's possible that Madara, now being viewed as a hero and now as the Hokage, that Danzo never grows hatred for the Uchiha.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah.
Also means that he's able to stick around to train Tsunade when she becomes a Genin 2 years after the first
Yo,
Ninja
sick.
War when
This is a
Tsunade
sick
turns 6
situation.
years old. This also opens up the door for Tsunade during the 20-year gap between the first and second Great Ninja War to be taught the Flying Raijin with Tobirama.
Oh my god, this is changing everything. I love these situations. It's like, this is what happened, but then what happens to everyone else later on? This is crazy.
Madara likely would have blessed some random woman with the Uchiha greatness no jutsu,
Yeah.
and he would likely start a family
Take
with
that,
her,
woman.
and he would produce an heir.
Babies.
This would change Fugaku Uchiha's status, since Fugaku would not be groomed to be the next clan leader, making Fugaku just another Uchiha. However, since we know that Fugaku would go on to become a ninja who was called a generational talent by Danzo,
Well, yeah, he would have been decent
mentioned in the
anyway,
same
yeah.
breath as Minato, I could see Madara taking an interest in Fugaku. This is where another drastic change occurs.
Okay, go on.
Just as Tobirama would have made Tsunade drastically more powerful, since she'd be able to combine the Flying
Oh my
Raijin
God.
with her chakra enhanced punches, Madara would take out time to boost Fugaku's skill level.
Yo,
several
teach
tiers.
him
And
and
this
make him
is really
stronger.
important
Oh,
when you consider how strong Fugaku is stated to be. Just to be
Well,
clear,
he was a
Fugaku, as
Hokage,
mentioned earlier, was already
candidate.
a very powerful ninja, and the elders flat out refused him to be anywhere near the battlefield during the Kyuubi attack because they feared his Sharingan was powerful.
there you go.
enough to
Oh, I wish I
control
watched this
the Nine
earlier
Tails.
for the,
However, Itachi in his prime,
yeah.
on the night of the Uchiha massacre, directly stated that he
Neuro
wasn't
explained,
sure
you know what I'm
he could
talking about.
defeat
Like,
Fugaku
I
in
wish I
battle,
watched this
given
earlier
how
for that
freakishly strong
Spike
prime
video
Itachi
with
was, which we
Seth.
saw
Yeah.
glimpses of his power when he was in Edo Tensei, revived at less than his full power, being able to hold his own with KCM Naruto and directly stop a couple of attacks by EMS Sasuke,
Yo.
and completely dismantle a fully healthy Nagato in moments. Fugaku would be incredibly more powerful here
Oh,
than he was
jeez,
in
yeah,
the original
everyone gets an
timeline.
amp. It's
Madara,
sick.
only using Genjutsu, was able to train Obito, someone who is considered to be a dunce of the Uchiha clan. He was able to bring Obito up to a level where he could fight against Minato. That also is a reflection of how good of a trainer Madara is, in my
Very,
opinion. Madara will
very
continue
good
to train
example.
Fugaku alongside Madara's own son. By the time that the 20 years since the war hits and the Second Great Ninja War would start, I do believe that just as Hiruzen Sarutobi did start the Second Great Ninja War, I also believe that Madara would have started the Ninja War as well. Now, this is where some major changes occur. Konoha is going to be significantly more deadly in battle than ever
Hell
before, and I'll break
yes.
down for you
Like,
guys
everyone's
why.
amped
Tsunade
up to
being
the like a higher point than they
significantly more
were
powerful
in the
means
original
Hanzo is
storyline.
likely killed when he challenges the legendary son. A 19-year-old Fugaku Uchiha will be fighting alongside Madara's son, terrorizing enemy ninja on the battlefield, with Fugaku gaining the nickname Wicked Eye Fugaku
Go ahead.
Uchiha during the Second Great Ninja War instead of the Third Great Ninja
Sick.
War. Now, going a step further, just as ninja were said to fear Fugaku during the Third Great Ninja War because of his genjutsu, like stated in the Itachi Daylight novel, Fugaku likely gets a do not engage order placed on his name, especially
just like
when he
Minato.
inevitably unlocks his Mangekyo Sharingan
Whoa.
during this war. Now, most importantly, since Hiruzen Sarutobi would not have been a Hokage at the time, a 42-year-old Hiruzen Sarutobi would likely emerge out of the war with the most name recognition out of
Sick.
anybody.
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
authority.
and then
At
get
age
put on the list.
42, Hiruzen would still be in his prime, albeit he'd probably be on the back end of his prime, which is a pretty huge weapon to have in a war when you consider how strong Prime Hiruzen was. If we take the statement that Prime Hiruzen was stronger than the previous 4 Hokage, this would mean that Hiruzen as a Jonin would be significantly more powerful than not just his current Hokage, but the other 4 Kages in the
Oh
other
my
villages
God.
as well. This is also
Get
where
out the way.
another major change would occur. We know from Naruto chapter 372 that after Nagato and Yahiko were almost killed by a stone ninja, that Jiraiya chose to train the Rain Orphans when it comes to ninjutsu. However, the only reason why they even survived is because Nagato unlocked his Rinnegan
Yeah,
to
yeah.
save them. Since nobody in this timeline would have the Rinnegan, Yahiko and Nagato would have outright died, leaving Konan to escape to grab Jiraiya, who would have ended up killing the stone ninja in retaliation. Konan having nowhere else to go, I believe that Jiraiya would be emotionally drained enough to make a very drastic decision. He'd already been living with those children for a year. He'd taken investment in them emotionally, and now 2 out of the 3 would have been dead. On top of agreeing
Oh,
to train
damn.
Konan
Some
in
Promised
ninjutsu
Neverland,
so
like,
she could
reference there.
protect herself, Jiraiya would have also taken her back to Konoha once the war ended, stating that he continued to help train her until she was ready to return to her village and mend the open wounds of the country and become its Kage. Now that the Second Great Ninja War would have officially ended, in this timeline, it would have done so a few years sooner than originally, due to Konoha being a lot more stronger in this timeline.
Conflict
Madara would
in
have a
this
very tough decision to
situation.
make. Being in his mid-60s, Madara would have to choose the next Hokage. He would have numerous ninja who were overly qualified to choose from. His own son would be a very powerful ninja. Fugaku would now be in his 20s, and he would be admired by younger ninja like
very,
Minato,
very
who
high
were still
candidate
at the
though at the moment.
Tsunade would have been an absolute monster, combining her chakra scalpel and her chakra enhanced
With the
strength
flying Raijin stuff though as well. Like,
on top
geez,
of
yeah, like I said,
water release.
whoa!
However, Madara would go on to name Hiruzen Sarutobi the third Hokage after giving it great thought, both recognizing his power as well as the fact that he came from the famed Sarutobi.
I was gonna say, like, he'd have to recognize the name.
Hiruzen as the Third Great Ninja War would inevitably start up. By the time we get to the end of the Third Great Ninja War, I believe that Madara and Tobirama both would have passed away in the mid-70s, allowing for Hiruzen to name his next set of advisors. It's very likely that the White Fang still goes on to kill himself in this timeline. Now, this also leads to another major change. When Obito's crushed by the boulder, his story would come to an end. There will be no Madara Uchiha waiting in the shadows to seduce Obito.
That's it.
Instead, Setsu would have to wait for the next set of transmigrants to be born. And this is where another massive change would occur. Naruto would grow up with both of his parents, which by default means there never would have been a Kyuubi attack, which means the Uchiha clan never get blamed, which means that there's never a coup d'etat that gets planned, which
so
also
the Uchiha
means
clan
that Itachi
survived.
never massacres the Uchiha clan. Also, Konan likely would have left Konoha after the Third Great Ninja War to bring about peace to the Rain Village, likely overthrowing whoever it was that took up Hanzo's mantle.
Wow.
Now, the changes continue as we get closer to the events of Naruto Chapter 1. When we look at the retcon that was made in the manga about when Orochimaru left Konoha, where it was directly stated in the early parts of the manga that Orochimaru left Konoha after Minato was named the Hokage.
Yeah, he got pissed off,
later
didn't he?
on in the manga, it was changed to 7 years after the event happened, which we do know from Naruto Chapter 583, where Kabuto says that he left the orphanage 5 years ago, and in Naruto Chapter 584, Orochimaru states that he just recently left Konoha. I believe that Hiruzen still would have had someone go after Orochimaru, if not lead the charge himself, though I believe that there is a strong chance that ninja like Minato and Fugaku are tasked with keeping an eye on Orochimaru once the rumors reach Hiruzen Sarutobi. If this happens, under no scenario is Orochimaru not being killed. Now, due to Danzo,
okay, so Orochimaru is out of the situation.
Which means that Kabuto grows up in the orphanage. Now, due to Naruto
Damn, this changes so
Naruto's usually a lot more skilled, knowing Uzumaki's jutsu, potentially the flying Raijin, and without the Kyuubi, Naruto would have better chakra control at his disposal. This means he never fails the academy 3 times, which also means that he graduates a lot sooner. Naruto still likely has a rival in Sasuke due to the Ashura and Indra effect. This means that Naruto graduates before Team 7 and is placed on another team. Elsewhere in the village, Madara's grandson is likely
Naruto
to
does
graduate from
better,
the academy at the
like,
same time
initially.
as
That's
Sasuke and
interesting,
Sakura.
yeah.
At this point, Naruto likely takes and passes his first tuning exams before these events happen. Naruto is likely in the audience watching as Sasuke and Madara's grandson demolish most of the competition during the tuning exams, which is exactly what have happened, and it would have continued in this timeline since the Sand Village wouldn't have attacked Konoha, since the only reason why they did so is because
Orochimaru sorted the stuff out. Yeah.
Opens up the door for Sasuke versus Neji to occur, and the winner in that battle likely wins the entire tuning exams. Finally, the Akatsuki would not exist in this timeline,
they wouldn't.
which means that there is no Biju.
All the people sorted out are just not in the mix.
Rogue ninja who are eventually hunted down and killed. Instead, Setsu will be forced to wait for that moment that never actually comes when Sasuke falls into the darkness and can be manipulated by Zetsu, which again wouldn't happen in this timeline. With no hatred towards the Uchiha, Itachi likely emerges as the next Hokage candidate after Hiruzen steps down by the events of the time skip. However, it's also worth noting that there will be other Hokage candidates there. So, my question to you guys before we end this what if is, who would you choose out of those ninja to become the 4th Hokage? You got Itachi Uchiha, Shisui Uchiha, Minato, you got a more powerful version of Fugaku, a more powerful version of Tsunade, and you have Madara's son.
Oh my
Which of those
god.
characters do you think would be the next 4th Hokage?
I mean, everyone's like a lot stronger and a lot better, and they're different characters, so it's very difficult situation.
Have an awesome day, guys.
geez, like everyone's not like who they were in the series. So that's a very difficult choice to make. Personally, but like Itachi, fanboy Itachi, but I just don't know. Just don't know. But that was a really interesting what if scenario. That was absolutely class. Everything changed. Like even like the Danzo situation was different. The Orochimaru situation was different. The amount of wars that happen. Tobirama when he becomes Hokage like changed. That was really really cool. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. Next time.